Hello, Helen.
Can you hear
Hi.
me okay? Hello there. Can you can you
Hi.
hear me?
I
Hello.
can see and hear you now.
Very good.
How are
So
you?
I usually hide from these things. I don't like seeing myself.
All right. Well,
That's not the face I have of myself in my head.
oh, don't worry, don't worry. It's only so we can like meet each other
No,
and
I understand. No, no,
you
no.
know I'm
Yeah, yeah.
real and I know you're real.
Indeed. Well, there we are. I'm as real as I get. Yeah. Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
So I mean, you suggested a call. We've exchanged some emails. I was gonna do a read through in the last half hour, but became 4 minutes, so I'm not really caught up.
Okay.
So I mean, this is a follow up to those exchanges, just to establish something. But uh, I don't. I'd mentioned one set of dates to you, and I think those have become not just speculative but improbable now. But that doesn't mean that there are no dates. It just means there are
Yeah,
no fixed
those are
dates.
the ones were in February, I think,
It
last
was,
next
yeah, next year
year.
was 3 weeks. Yeah, it was, the idea was to go to New Zealand with my daughter for a trek, but
Yeah.
she thinks there'd be lots of other old guys like me, so it'd be a bit dull. So my kind offer has been been thrown back in my face. So
Oh,
that's okay. She'll be 18, so I understand that she'll probably have better things to do. So, but that doesn't mean that I might not go. But if I go, it probably wouldn't be that particular period,
right.
for
That's
various
fine.
reasons. Uh,
That's fine.
yeah. So, but there are, I mean, say I've got other. I think probably it's a case of establishing a process for me organising things like that around you, because I think
Yeah.
crazily, sorting out cover for the dog is the first thing. If I can't do that, I can't go anyway. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I understand.
um, so how do you like people to do that kind of thing? Just
Well, it's pretty much what you're suggesting is
yeah,
if you've got any dates, then I will look
yeah,
at my calendar. Or what
yeah.
I do is I have what I call CCs, which are my chosen clients. And
Okay.
I now work about 6 months out of
Yes.
the year.
Okay.
Because I've been doing this for like 18 years now.
Yes, I saw. Yeah.
And it's a lot to be living in someone else's
Yeah,
house
I'm
and move
sure.
around for that length of time.
Yeah.
So I've decided to concentrate on like a small group. There's about 15 clients
Right.
and they take enough work that takes up about
Okay.
6 months
Yeah.
spread out
So
through
that
the
suits you.
year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can either share my calendar with
Right.
you
Okay.
and you'll see
Yes.
yellow colored coding and
Okay.
it'll either tell you that I am booked or it will say Eleanor's unavailable. So anything that's
Okay.
yellow pretty
Yeah.
much means
It's
that
out.
it's
Okay.
a
Yeah,
no.
that would be good.
So I can do that and then you can
Okay.
see if there's anything that you want.
Yeah. That's fine. I mean, I've got the sorts of things I have in mind to do, as of one, visits to old friends, which might or might not involve taking the dog, depending on who those old friends are and how they feel about spaniels.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, the other thing is to pick up the sorts of treks and things that I used to do, with Sarah,
Hmm.
um, and pick things out. So, for example, the holiday that I was looking at before, that I mentioned to you, the dates. I've picked some other dates. They run the trip 3 or 4 times a year, so I've picked
Oh
some other dates out. But it's quite a long trip, and I've got to kind of. This is new to me, so I've got to dip my toe in the water. So whether a 3 week trip to New Zealand on my own is necessarily the place to start,
yeah.
it
Okay.
might be more a case of going to Iceland for a week or something like that, and then just play it by ear. So, but if I had access to your diary, or in the way that you suggest, then I could save us both a lot of time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wouldn't be out here sending you emails saying I've got 6 choices. Can you do any of them? Which is where I will get to, and it'll
Yeah.
probably take me several days of effort to get to that point. So
Yeah.
if I can start with your dates,
Hmm.
then that would help me. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, in terms of the other lady that I've never we dog's nearly 5, but we'd never dealt with this before. And I think part of the reason was I think my wife wouldn't have wanted somebody else sleeping in her bed,
Fair enough.
which obviously is that people have got to sleep somewhere.
Hmm.
And whereas I'm not bothered about that particularly. I've tried it 2 or 3 times. The lady that we tried and used happily, she's sat at home for a day for 2 funerals actually,
Oh,
and also done a short break. We went to Morocco in February, which went well. We're going to Denmark in after Heidi's A levels in June, and she's doing that as well. But that's the
I
last
see.
hurrah.
Oh,
But I think she was trying. She's much newer to it than you. I think she's only been doing it for 2 or 3 years, and she was trying to combine doing regular local sort of dog walks for a couple of hours here and there.
mm,
And clearly it didn't work. Even where I'm only 15 miles from where she lives, she was having to drive backwards and forwards for a couple of hours a day.
mm.
And so it didn't really work. And I think therefore she's reining it in and doing more of the local stuff. And she was doing. I think she sat for people in Cornwall and also for people in the
Oh,
lakes and Scotland. So
right.
she obviously was dipping her toe in two different types of businesses.
Yeah.
But there's only her. So I mean, I got the impression you have some oppos that you turn to sometimes.
I did have,
All right.
but they pretty much retired. So
Okay.
there were two of them, and they was already retired anyway. And then I
Right.
got about 4 years out of them, and then
Yeah.
they retired.
Right. I mean, I could see it would. I mean, as you just said, I mean, I could see it would suit some people
Mm.
for part of the year.
Yes.
And and I entirely understand why you're doing what you're doing. I think 18 years is phenomenal. You look quite happy and sane, considering that. Um, okay, so but I mean, I read something on your website about if you were doing a stay and looking after dogs, you would be there for at least 20 hours a day.
Mhm.
Did I imagine that, or did I read it?
No, that's right. I stipulate that it's like I can leave the house for up to 4 hours. So
Okay,
I could leave for a couple of hours, come home, come back to your house, and then go back out again for another 2 hours. It's for a
right.
break for me, and so that the
Yeah.
dog doesn't need full on company the whole time.
Okay. All right. I
And that's
mean,
the
yeah,
breaks. But I am there.
yeah,
If you don't need me all the time and I'm all right to go out for 5 hours, that's what I
yeah.
do. But we
Right.
stipulate that 4 hours is a break for the sitter,
Yeah.
and
Okay. I
but
mean, that would be
is
so.
that
Yeah,
not
I'm
something?
sure that we're flexible. We could talk about things. I mean, I have a slight anxiety about that. In that he's a lockdown dog, so my
Oh,
office closed in 2020 with the lockdown, and then never reopened. So I've been working remotely for 5 years now. Um, and he only existed because I could be at home with him all the time.
hmm.
So his experience of being left alone is measured in minutes per week almost.
Right, I see. And
So
what does he actually do?
what does he do? I mean, what does he do? He is alone in the house. He's not under my feet all the time I'm here. He'll take himself off, and he has several places he goes and lurks. One of them is under my desk sometimes, but when he gets bored with that, and he'll go and sit somewhere else and be by himself. So it isn't something that I'm unduly worried about, but it is something that you would need to be aware of, that
Mhm.
he isn't a dog who is used to being used to that.
Okay, and what do you think he would behave like if you weren't there for like half an hour? What do you think he
Well,
would do in the
I
house?
can, I can check on that because sometimes I mean, that does happen. I have my daughter at home, and my wife was working at home as well when she was here. So I would occasionally have to go somewhere and do something, go to court, or sorry, I'm a lawyer, so I would have to go to court or go off and see a client or go to a meeting somewhere else.
Hmm.
Um, and so he would be there with other people bobbing around doing whatever they were doing,
Mm.
and I don't think he's distressed by that. But
Yeah, so we don't really know
we
what
don't
it'd be
really know.
like if he was in the house by himself for like
Yeah.
30 minutes. We don't
No,
know.
we can try that. I mean, I'm trying to think. he must have been. There have been occasions where I've had to nip out to the post office and left him here. He's been too tired or not bothered to come with me. So I can try it. I don't. He is a well-adjusted dog. I
Yeah.
mean, where is he? Oh, I can't see him. He's disappeared. I'll show you him.
Okay. Yeah, it'd be good to see him.
Oh, there he is. He's lurking now outside the door
Oh,
because
I
I've
see
shut him
him.
out. So you can see where that what I'm looking at there is where he might habitually go. You can see the dent in the beanbag.
Oh, I see
So,
it.
so that's one of his places. Come on, we'll show her. We'll show her. So yes, so this is. I mean, I can show you. This is he mostly lurks in here.
Okay.
So this is our garden room, and
Yeah.
that's another one of Bracken's chairs,
Ah, right.
which he's had from a puppy, as you can see.
Oh,
So he will lurk there. He also likes sitting on there and watching things.
yeah.
So he's it's a reasonable sized house. It's all the ground floor is mostly quarry tiled. So I mean that wasn't done with him in mind, but he's he's 5. He'll be 5 years old probably by the time you do anything with him. So I'm not anxious about it, but I just thought it was something to mention.
Yeah.
And we have a chicken.
Okay.
And
That's
shout
fine.
that from time to time.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I can. It's possible for me to stay there 24 hours. I can. It's just that it does increase the fee a bit because
Yeah.
it's very, very restrictive
Yeah,
on
no, I
me.
understand that.
So
Yeah.
it would increase the fee, but
Yeah.
you
I mean,
know.
what I think, Jess, when she did it, she would, cause she would come and stay here. If she had dog walking to do back in Buxton, she would put him in the van and take him with her.
Mm-hmm.
He's very happy in a crate in the car.
Right.
So if I mean, without flexing it, I mean, if you needed to go somewhere, I don't know what sort of vehicle you use, but I would have thought it's probably a dog set up one.
Yeah.
So I mean, he could come with you if you were going somewhere as well, but that doesn't give you the break. I appreciate. I mean, it's something to talk about. I
Yeah,
think it would be,
we can have a look at it. If it was like a week or something,
yeah,
it'd be all right. If we're talking
yeah,
2 weeks where I'm
yeah.
like 24/7,
No,
not the, it's too much, unfortunately.
there's a lot
To
of
accept.
focus on mental health these days, isn't there, in business? And I think
Yeah,
that's
I do need a
yeah, no,
break
I
because
understand
if
that.
anything happens during the night or anything, it's all right being there, and I might just be sat watching telly or something or
Yeah,
walking or something. But you're not ever settled because I'm
no,
not in my own house.
I know.
So
I don't know
there
I
is
don't know
that.
how people do it. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
so I
lot.
understand that. I
Yeah.
mean, okay. I
So
mean, I think it would be a case of trying this out incrementally
yeah.
for both of us. And I think, so we've got this thing booked in June. Heidi's starts her A levels on Monday
Right.
for the next month. And then we're going to Copenhagen. And then when we get back, she's going to plan her gap year, and I'm going to plan what on earth it's like not working.
Right.
I'm mildly nervous about.
Well, there's lots of changes coming up
Yeah,
then.
there are. Yeah, she's having a gap year of 25, 26. So she's not going to go to uni, not this coming autumn, but the following one. So, but she doesn't know what she's doing yet. But there are things coming up that we could. I mean, for example, we're going to have a meeting in September in Manchester. I think she and I. So that would be a long day.
Okay.
There's no date for it yet, so I can't mention the date, but dependent on the lawyers mentioning a date. So there's that kind of thing, or we could just invent something,
Okay.
just so you could dip your toe in the water, and
Okay.
you could come and see what it's like, and we can, if we move on, I can try him out
Yeah.
with going out. I'm supposed to be starting running again, for example. Ha ha.
Yeah.
So, for example,
Um,
I used to take him in the car in the crate, and I'd run from the back of the car. Well,
right.
I could maybe do it from the house. I'm
Yeah.
not out. And to start with, I won't be out for very long, so it won't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I
this,
think
yeah,
I think it would be.
Yeah,
helpful for him as well if you
yeah,
can maybe start just leaving him for 5 minutes, come in, and
yeah,
then go for another 5 minutes and come in. And it's a matter of just
yeah,
walking out of the house and
yeah,
walking in, not
yeah.
making a big fuss about it, just basically going
No,
about your
no,
day.
I've read
Because
the
if
book.
anything happened, for instance, I don't mean anything, but if you happen to
Yeah,
be like ill or rushed into the hospital and then he is left for a couple of hours,
yeah,
it's better if he's all right when it gets to
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I
So,
understand. I mean, it is.
yeah,
I mean, it is all part of the new world.
it is.
In that, I've
It's
Heidi's
a
been
lot.
here, Sarah was here, so if I had to go out, it didn't matter. One of them would be here, and
Yeah.
if they weren't, Heidi's godparents would be here, but they've also now retired, and they're on a 3 week holiday in Scotland right
Oh,
now.
nice.
They're not there. So I am conscious that actually you feel quite exposed in
Yeah.
terms of that kind of thing. If when Sarah was poorly, I would be going to the Northern General, the hospital here, quite a lot, um, and it's an hour and a half round trip,
Yeah.
and so on. Well, I had somebody else to mind the dog, or he'd come with me. But if it was me who was unwell, and you can't rule that out.
No, that's
So
it.
yes,
It's
I mean
only
there is,
things like that. It's things that you wouldn't think
yeah,
of happening
yeah,
that have happened when I've had dogs that have got.
yeah,
It's whether he's all right. If you've said,
yeah,
"Oh, I can't leave him because he's got separation and anxiety," meaning
yeah,
he's defecating in the house, he's chewing your doors, he's
yeah,
being sick, he's whining.
yeah.
That's separation anxiety.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think
So
it's
it's
he is he get. For example, if we go out and he's in the crate in the back of the car, we might go off for an hour and do something with the windows open and
yeah,
water and whatever else. He's really happy.
right,
That's his place. He likes it. He
yeah.
likes the crate. He likes the crate in the car a lot better than the crate in the house. He won't go in the crate in the house during the day.
Ah, I see.
I'm not going to be locked in there. What are you doing? Um, so he's quite happy with the environment. I mean, for example, we had a stair gate, like a child stair gate, when he
Yeah.
was small
Hmm.
at the foot of this. We've not used it for 3 years. He's never been upstairs.
Right. That's
I
that's
mean, yeah,
good.
and
That's
he's a
good.
spaniel, I mean, and you would, and even if there's only me and him in, and I have something to do upstairs. Well, he doesn't follow me. He just settles in one of
It's
his
good.
places.
It's good because there's a lot of dogs that are allowed to go absolutely anywhere,
Oh
and
yeah,
just
no,
having boundaries, just to think something like that. Don't upstairs in the house? It's really
yeah,
really good for them
yeah,
because they
yeah,
know what they're allowed to do, and it makes them feel safe.
yeah, yeah. This is a dangerous time. This is his mad time of day, though. 5 till 7 in the evening is when he's bonkers. So everybody's finished work, and we can be daft
Oh
for
yeah.
2 hours, and then he collapses completely till 7 in the morning. But so there we are. What is it? What else might you need to know or see or think about?
No, it's really that I'll just send you my availability through,
Yes,
and
please.
if you find anything, the next step is for me to actually come and visit you and
Yes.
actually see you in person, and I can
Yeah.
meet you and I can meet your dog,
Yeah.
and you can see that we're going to get on
You
okay.
can. You can. Yeah. You'll need to work. I mean, because Jess came. Jess has been and done things 3 times. I mean, I've got a pile of accumulated handwritten notes of things
Yeah.
I've left for her. So that this is where the food is. This is where the spare food
Yeah,
is.
that's fine
All that
because
stuff.
part of the service that I have is an online form.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
I've got a questionnaire
Yeah.
online and
Yeah.
I ask everything I need to know, and then it's on the computer.
Yeah.
And then when you're away,
Yeah.
you can log on to the same system and see all the updates. So I'll be
And
telling you when we've
yeah.
walked, when he's
Oh,
been
okay.
fed, when he's
All
had a
right.
playtime. You'll be able
Yes.
to log on and just see
Yeah.
line after line after line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I appreciate that. You're a distance away. I don't know where I did.
Yeah, I'm in Doncaster.
Yeah.
So what is it? What is it? An hour?
I would think. I mean, it's from me into the middle of Sheffield is probably half an hour.
Yeah, it's probably going to be about
So
50 minutes or something.
yeah, I mean, I think we are 12 and a half, 13 miles from the centre of Sheffield.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I think it's going to be about an hour.
yeah,
But
yeah.
as
I
long as
mean,
you've
I
got
did.
Yorkshire tea, then we're fine. If you haven't got Yorkshire tea, then I'm just simply
Well,
not coming over.
I'm trying to think what, you know what? I've got this marvelous feeling. That's what I'm
I
afraid.
hope so.
I'm assumed I drink Red Bush, but I think my daughter drinks plain
It
normal
is
tea, and I think
important.
well, you can rest assured that I there you are. Yeah. There's no box in there; it's all in the cupboard. But yeah,
All right.
that's what we buy.
Okay.
So, and now you can see one of Bracken's favourite tricks this time of the evening.
Oh, you've just broken up.
Oh, boy, thank you.
You're just breaking up
Is
there.
new
Sorry.
shoes.
Oh, that's it. You're
Yeah,
just
just this
breaking up
time of the
a
evening.
bit. You're just breaking up a bit.
Yeah, it's all right. This is there's no. I'm on Wi-Fi only on this thing, so
All right.
I want to. Sorry, I should. If I'd had you on my phone, that would have been fine. But that's a bigger screen on this, so
No, that's
yeah,
fine. It's fine.
yeah.
Yeah.
No. Anyway,
So
okay. Well,
yeah,
look. I mean, what's the
yeah.
next thing?
The one it's best for me to actually come over and see what the situation is
Yeah,
and all that. So we can sort it out. I think in between, now and then, I think it would be really good if you can like start going away. Leaving the house
yeah.
for 5 minutes or something and coming straight back in again.
I mean, you can take it that I do that. I mean,
Yeah.
that length of time. It's 5, 10, even
Yeah, I
15
don't
minutes.
think especially if he's being tired. Best thing to do is actually just like basically knacker him out, leave him in the
Yeah,
house, and go out for 15 minutes and then just come in. Because I don't know whether he'd actually have, some kind of separation anxiety. I think he'd actually probably be fine by
yeah. I think
himself.
it's yeah.
But
It was
we don't know about
no,
that unless
no. I
try. I
mean,
don't know.
okay. I mean, I did. I'm glad we discussed it because I did pick it up, and I thought, well, we need to. I mean, to be honest, what Jess did, I don't know. In those regards, well, that's so the lady who came before was called Jess. I don't know whether she was here all the time or whether she left him for a bit, or when she took him out to Buxton for her to do her other dog walks, he was probably
Yeah.
in the car for some of that time, or. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, we can
I'm
have a
not.
look at it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm qualified in dog behavior anyway.
yeah, of
So
course.
even if I came up and I went out for 10 minutes and then came out back in again, if I thought your dog was stressed, I just wouldn't go out again.
Yeah,
Um, but like a 10-minute walk for me without the dog and without the house
yeah,
is when I kind of
yeah,
set.
yeah. I do absolutely
So,
understand.
but if it's a week and you don't want me to leave, that's fine. It just affects the
Yeah,
price, that's all. But then that it's something we can look at.
yeah. Well, I think we. I mean, I think we would. I mean, it didn't even occur to me to use Jess for a break away
Hmm.
apart until we'd done the one day,
Yeah.
which went well because she could say it was awful, I don't want to do it again, or
Hmm.
you know, but it kind of worked. So I think that's the approach I would
Yeah,
expect
that's
to
fine.
take. I
Yeah.
mean, I think if you share we're really mad now till probably certainly mid, if not the end of June.
Okay.
So in terms of coming over for a meeting, it might be nicer for you, I think, if you got a level of commitment to be, and I'd actually proposed a date
Hmm.
when you could come and get paid for something for doing some things, rather than just come
Fine.
over on a speculative visit, not knowing whether or not you were ever going
Okay.
to get some
Yeah,
employment.
that
I mean,
makes sense.
you're in business. I as I say, I'm a jobbing solicitor, so I don't talk to people other than for money if I can possibly avoid it. Um, so we're both doing each other a favour here, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Um, you know, um, so if you give me, we'll do whatever's necessary to give me access to the diary.
Hmm.
I'll have a little look at a few things, and we can always. I mean, one thing I did in the middle of all this terrible stuff, my mum died 6 weeks ago as well, so that was the second funeral that we had to go to, and that Jess covered. So her house needs sorting out,
Oh,
and
this is a lot.
she was in Halifax, so that's that's a possibility. Is I've got relatives I might have to go over there in the summer a little bit and help with that. So that might be an option to do the odd day then. But when are your 6 months? Is it do you do it as a block, or do you do it,
No,
6 months
no,
total?
it's scattered throughout the full 12 months.
All right.
So I might have, say, 3 weeks off and then I'm working for five. Then I might have
Yeah.
2 days off and then I work for five.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you do it that way. So you give yourself a break. Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask about the facilities here, or
No, because I'll get all that on that profile.
okay? And are you, as well as giving me access to the diary, are you going to? How do I get to that profile? Do you send it me and I fill it in, or?
Yeah, best thing for me to do is it once we know that you want to book,
Yeah.
that's when you'll send me that information.
Okay.
So
All
you
right.
don't need to share any information about your house or your dog or anything unless you actually want to book with me.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm not precious about these things. We used to have,
That's all right.
well, I know some people are, but I mean, we used to have cleaners and things, and you think, well, they have a key, so
Yeah.
who do they give the key to? How many copies do they make? And if you went down that line and worried about everything,
Yeah, that's it.
you'd never do anything, would you?
You
And I
wouldn't,
think,
exactly. You wouldn't
well,
let someone in your house if you're going to be like that. So
no,
yeah,
we knew where the cleaners lived, and
yeah,
we have contact details for you, and you'd be the obvious person to ask a first question of if you
exactly.
know all my Van Gogh paintings disappeared off the wall. Yeah, which you'd be surprised how often that happens. So I don't mind filling that form in earlier, because that might help you understand
Okay,
a bit,
fine.
and peel
All
a bit
right,
more.
that's fine.
Because you could rule him out. I mean, I know, but Springer Spaniels are not everybody's cup of tea. I mean,
they are. There was one. Okay, I'll tell you the truth now.
yeah,
When I
go on.
started 18 years ago,
Yeah.
one of my first jobs was to go and stay in a one-bedroom
Ah,
bungalow,
oh, good.
in Doncaster for 8 Springers and
Oh,
a Rottweiler
okay, well done.
for 3 days.
Well, this
And
is
I
easy then.
promised myself I
Yeah.
would never look after a Springer again.
Oh,
And
Bracken,
yet,
don't listen.
here we are.
Yeah, I know. Here you go. Come on, Bracken. Bracken,
Oh
lie
dear.
down. Lie down. And sit
Aw.
down. Oh, okay. He's this is his exciting period. So you can. I used to tell people this. Everybody came home from work and school, so they all thought he was mad all
Yeah.
day. And for 12 hours a day, we did nothing. He sat under the desk. I put my feet on his ribs and typed. And we went out for a walk every 2.5 hours. And then he gets to this time of the evening, and he just goes bonkers for 2 hours.
Well,
So,
it's supposed to, isn't it?
so this will be the 2 hours to go back to
This is the
Doncaster,
two
obviously.
hours. Right. Okay.
Yeah. All
What's
right.
it like? Do you walk him out of your garden? So what's it like with the dogs and stuff?
It's fine. I mean, we did all. I was quite studious about trying to do it properly as far as
Okay.
COVID allowed. So he's really well socialized. He likes people much more than dogs.
Okay.
He has some favorite people that he will lurch towards: the postman, the litter picking ladies locally who have biscuits, and the window cleaner. People he knows, he's desperate to go and talk to.
Okay.
People he doesn't know, he doesn't really pay too much attention. If we're on narrow paths, he's in that. I make him sit when like old ladies and stuff come past, and he sometimes does what I ask him.
Okay.
We have, I mean, here locally, you see this when he came, but it's quite a big garden, so it's quite a good little run for him. He can go out there. I have some training kit that can be brought out to make him do things and tire him out a bit. But about 100 meters less probably from here, there's an enclosed dog walking field. Quite a big. We have a campsite just down the road, and it's part of his facility, and he lets local people use it. So that's probably it's a field's length, and there's some plantations bits in it as well, and it's quite well sealed.
Okay.
And so I take him there once, twice a day, and do some stuff with him. I'm not. You don't need to learn to be a gun dog trainer to look after him, but I do. He's quite good with that kind of thing.
Okay.
If you take him out exciting places, other places, he will happily bog off 300 meters away from you. It's supposed to, apparently springers are meant to stay 30 meters away from you, but for some reason he thinks he's a hunter pointer retriever, so he will happily go over the next hill and then come back later to make sure you're okay, and then going over the next hill.
Oh,
So we don't
wow.
do that anymore. um,
Wow.
uh, but you can, I mean, where the place I just described is local and easy. 2 miles away by car, there's a bigger similar place where we also go every day, and do similar sorts of training and stuff. And we can walk around. There's on lead walks around here. It's just a little village, so it's quite a big road in the middle, but it's they're little ways off, and he's used to the routes. So he will, if he knows he's on a little patrol route, then he'll go in little patrol mode, and go and walk around for 20 minutes and come back. And so I don't think he's I don't think he's a lot of bother, but obviously I'm used to him.
Yeah, you're used to him. Well, look, what's it like on the lead? Will he, like, if he's just walking around the street for like 20 minutes, does he pull, or does he be all right?
He it varies.
Okay.
If is with me is generally all right, but obviously we've both got used to each other, and I haven't had it. He's the first dog I've had for getting on for 50 years, so I can't even remember what the previous one was like, who I think was half Springer.
Right.
So, but he's not awful. I mean, he's not pulling you all the time, but you do the basics. If he's getting used to you, you would do the basics, and if he pulls you, you just stop. I mean, I'm not telling you how to, because you know.
No.
So, and he will respond to that, because he will realize if you're not going anywhere. But
Yeah.
this time of year, half the time, all he wants to do is scent things.
Okay.
So it's almost a case, really, of somehow getting him moving, because he will happily sniff a square meter area of grass for 5 minutes, just to have do an absolute forensic check on who's been there, when, doing what. And it is really boring. This time of year, it's just awful. But I mean, it would be a case of sucking it and seeing, in that sense.
Yeah, of course, I'm
I
happy to
mean,
do that.
and if you came, I don't want to, but if you came and you were here, we could do these things. We could take him out, and then you could
sure.
see what a liar I am.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Things.
We can go for a walk, and I can see where the field is, and all of that.
Yeah, I mean, the field is really very, even if you just go there and throw a ball for him. I mean, he will fetch a ball. He does expect to be rewarded for bringing it back every time if you're not careful. But he's more lenient with others. But he doesn't. He will sort of play with other dogs a little bit. I think Jess used to take him out where she walked 3 other Springers. So they used to go out as a gang. And apparently then, because there was competition for her biscuits, he didn't do the straying off. He was staying. Well, I'm staying close because that's where the biscuits are. If I go off, they'll get the biscuits. So he's not completely stupid, but yeah. All right. Well, if you share the form with me, share the diary. However, I do it. I'll fill the form in. I'll have a looking ahead. If I haven't got a date yet for this meeting in September, so that's the only obvious thing.
That's fine.
That's coming up, but that's only because we haven't planned things. I mean, Heidi is away on her own for a week in July and another week in August. So there's a possibility, but obviously that's July and August. So you might have been booked up for that for 2 years for all I know. But once, we'll see. There'll be opportunities. And I think it's a case of if you come for a day or half a day to start with, and then maybe do a couple of days and see. And I mean, if I can well understand that you would need to take a break, even if as you say, even if it's only half an hour for a walk on your own, or half an hour for a drive to the supermarket and get some gin or whatever you need. Okay. Well, if you think of other things you need to check or find out or see. But if you send me the form, I
Yeah, I'll send
absolutely.
you the form, and then with my diary, it's via Google.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you'll probably get a link to
Right.
view. Now, if that doesn't work, it's all
Right.
right because I can pretty much screenshot each month and put
Okay.
it into a document for you. So
Right.
you'll just have to view it that way. But we'll try the link
Yeah.
first and see what
Okay. I
happens.
mean, yeah. Okay. I mean, we're. I've been. I used to be an Android person, but I was bullied by the other two, so I've now succumbed, and I'm now
Yeah.
iPhone and iPad
Yeah,
guy.
pretty much the same. I was
Yeah.
Android the whole way. I was adamant I was not going to Apple, and now I'm on a Apple
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Well, I gave in.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a particularly ancient iPad I'm on now, which needs lobbing away, really. But I'm amazed it works on the Zoom, actually. um, but if you send it, I'll try. I mean, I'm reasonable for my age. I have to be so do it for work, so
Okay.
I'm reasonably literate. And if not, I have people I can ask, either my
Right.
IT guy at work or my teenage
That's
daughter,
fine.
who just go
It'll
whiz
come
whiz.
via an email, and it'll just basically say, "This is your username. This is your password. This is
Okay,
what's going to happen when you log on." And it is,
okay,
and then
all
that's it.
right,
And if you've got any questions, let me know. But
all right,
the email will have all the information that you need. So you'll get one
okay,
email with a link for the calendar. Let's hope that works. And then
yeah.
you'll get another email for the information that I need.
Okay, we'll do that, and I shall look at it.
Yeah,
Good.
and then
Um,
we'll sort it out from there.
cool. Thank you very much for your time.
You're welcome.
Nice
You're
to meet
welcome.
you. It feels like I've
Yeah,
met you, but that's the
yeah, I know.
yeah. All right.
All
So
right, I'll be in touch then. I'll
yeah,
send an email to you.
all right. Thank you ever so much.
Okay
Cheers.
then.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.